Hi there to everyone who survived March, or at least the very, very intense transits we had in March, a lot of them. And first and foremost, the entry of Pluto into Aquarius, which happened on the 23rd of March. I made a video, a pretty long one, about the Age of Aquarius, where basically I'm describing everything that is starting right now. The new age. The old age has been the age of Pisces, and it's lasted for 2,160 years. And if we count back, we realize that that comes about exactly the time when Jesus unleashed the truth onto the world, but the truth was taken and spun up into a religion, into something disconnected, into something dominating and cruel, and into something that has kept us captive in an illusion for 2 millennia. And now, with the Age of Aquarius, we're breaking out of that illusion. Aquarius means transparency, clarity, autonomy, authenticity, truth. That's Aquarius. And the Age of Aquarius, many astrologers consider, starts with the ingress of Pluto into Aquarius. This is kind of giving it a final push, because the transition from Age of Pisces to Age of Aquarius is a long one. It's not really short. It lasts about between 50 and 100 years, but we think that now, with the ingress of Pluto into Aquarius, the age has been finally on. We've seen some things happen globally, like the crash of all the banks, and I think there will be a lot more to come, because the Age of Aquarius brings transparency into everything, and there is a lot of obscurity and manipulation in the world right now, but it is going to fall. So all you can do for yourself right now is to make it fall within yourself. Make all the lies, all the delusions, everything that is not your true self, just crumble, just let it fall away. And you will be left with what is the real you, and you will have a clarity and a focus for the future that is unprecedented. The days that Pluto enters into Aquarius, which was the 23rd of March, the days before that was a very strong new moon in Aries, which is the beginning of the astrological year. Those 3 days were really intense, and a lot of people have felt their true selves in those days, something that we often don't have access to because we're so so caught up in these false identities and these false wishes and desires that we create for ourselves, that we lose touch with what it is we really want. So really remember what you were feeling, thinking those days. Were you making plans for the future? Did you have an impulse those days, or thoughts that were very strong about something you want in your life? Did you have some issues about things you don't want in your life those days? Whatever it was, it is the truth. And since Aquarius is our true self, it resonates a lot with the energy of the North Node in the chart. So you need to know where your North Node is in order to know what direction you have to develop towards in order to become your true self. Because of that, I saw the Pluto move into Aquarius have a really big activation on people's North Node. So everybody suddenly felt really connected to their North Node, to their life purpose, to their true self that they're trying to develop in this life. And that's why I want to make this video, to just give a little insight about how this Pluto ingress affects each nodal position. So for people with the North Node in the first house or in Aries, the Pluto ingress will have brought them a lot of understanding of how they need to stop being codependent, how they need to stop being people pleasers, how they need to stop making everything about others, and how they need to really love themselves and focus on themselves. Maybe definitely also connected to physical of you physically, take more time in the day for yourself. Stop giving away so much time to other people that is unnecessary. Really put your boundaries, choose who you want to dedicate time to, and always put yourself first. That will be the realizations of people who have the North Node in the first house. Now, people who have the North Node in the second house, they might have realized throughout this week that they need more stability in their life. That peace and stability is actually really, really significant. And that they had allowed way too much chaos and way too much drama into their lives. And that the power is within them to stop the drama and to choose peace. They might have had the realization of how to do that. And also they might be able to finally let go of some mindset of, oh, everything is transient, it doesn't matter what I do, I can just, follow the flow, I don't need much. And maybe they allow themselves to actually understand that they need material things to make them feel safe. Maybe they do need a stable home and a stable job and a stable bank account. Maybe they also need a stable surrounding and a family. They will have to admit to themselves that they're not okay with living in chaos. North Node in the third house. People with the North Node in the third house will realize that they need connection. That they cannot just live alone as a hermit and get lost in their books and themselves and traveling and just have transience. They actually need a group of people where they feel like they belong, a group of peers, a group of equal-minded people. They need to connect. They will have this realization and they will start making steps towards coming down from their high mountaintop where they feel like they got the world and they understood the deepest truths, coming down to a place of being more open-minded and more versatile, not being so stuck in their own philosophies, in their own righteousness, but understanding that different people can have different perspectives and connecting with people from a place of equality and not from a place of being the superior. People with North Node in the fourth house. These people might realize that family and intimate bonds, and we're not talking relationships, we're really talking like people that we feel comfortable with, people that we don't mind having in our house or living with, that is really important to them, that the safety of their home is really important, that taking time for self-care, for being comfortable, maybe just doing nothing, just watching Netflix and having food and spending time with loved ones, that things are actually valuable, that it's not just productivity and work that is valuable, it is actually the things that we do for our heart, that fill our heart, that are important. And first and foremost, filling our own vessel, like taking time for like baths, taking time for pampering ourselves, taking time for making nice food, taking time for watching movies with our children, taking time for having a romantic dinner with our partner. All of this is more important than being recognized by the world and being seen and getting a raise or getting a promotion. And that's something that they will realize. Pluto, oh sorry, not Pluto, North Node in the fifth house. People with North Node in the fifth house will realize that they need to have some fun. That they have been way too detached, way too isolated, way too much in their own head, and that they need to actually risk something, risk going to the casino, risk some money, run down a hill, risk your health, fall in love, risk your heart. Like they need to put something on the line in order to feel alive and to get something back. They can't just forever be in their own cocoon and just do their own thing. Oh yeah, I love tech and I love anime and I'm just gonna do that and I'm here behind my computer. It's like, no man, you need to get out and you need to feel. They are very detached from their own emotions, so they will realize that they need to feel in order to be alive and to be happy, to feel and to express. So yeah, I can only recommend them to go party, to go make art, to just engage with other people, let themselves go, and hedonism basically some hedonism, and understand that life is not that serious. Develop a sense of playfulness, of lightness. That's what's missing in their life, and that's what they need to be happy. North Node in the 6th house. So these people will realize that it is the small everyday things that make them happy. Waking up, having the same breakfast every day, going for a run, having a routine, like having this stability and framework of routine is what is really lacking in their life to give them some sense of safety and happiness. Appreciating how wonderful a coffee tastes on your porch in the morning, like looking at the grass, like very, very small things. Like they need to stop looking for the huge transgressional, transpersonal, sense in life. They need to understand that sense and life and happiness is in the 3D, in the physical reality, in the here and now. Being present in the real world is what they need to do. And in going together with that, they need to come into their body. They need to start taking care of their body, like understanding that this vessel is actually really important, and that it's not just our lucid dreamings and astral travelings that are important. It is important that you eat well, that you exercise, that you basically understand and start taking pleasure in health, like proper physical health. North Node in the 7th house. These people will realize that they cannot be alone forever. That they cannot forever be happy just doing their own thing and spending all of their time on their own projects, on their own inspirations. They will realize that actually surrendering and compromising their time and giving something to others is what makes them truly happy. They will see that making compromises in terms of not having that much time for yourself, not being able to follow that much of your own hobbies or pursuits or creativity is not something bad if you fill it up or exchange it for time with partners or love or relationship. They will make a decision for relationships, and they will understand what kind of relationship they want in their life, and also what they are willing to sacrifice for it. North Node in the 8th house. So with North Node in the 8th house, these people will understand that they need to leave their comfort zone. That staying in the same place all their life and doing the same things just because they're scared of change will leave them miserable. They will start letting things go. They will feel the need to drop into the unknown, to take a risk and do something really out of the ordinary for them that they would never have done before, like leave a comfort relationship, move cities, quit a job without having a backup or knowing where they're going. Like they need to become comfortable with being out of their comfort zone, with being challenged. They might also start challenging themselves in terms of their own shadows, and they might start psychotherapy because they have never wanted to look at themselves before. They always felt very sufficient and very okay with themselves, like nothing needs to change here, everything's good. But now they realize it not, and that the only place that they will truly find that stability and safety is not the outer structures that they are creating, like their home and their relationships and all these things that are nothing but comfort. They will understand that the real strength is only to be found when they are at peace with themselves, when they have nothing that is causing them inner turmoil. So yeah, they will be facing a lot of inner turmoil and darkness, and stop choosing comfort above everything else. People with North Node in the 9th house might realize during this Pluto ingress that they need to withdraw that they've been wasting way too much time on nothing. Social media, meeting up, just gossiping, talking to friends, chit chat, like meaningless social time, and that they really haven't had any time for meaningful um, interactions and or learning. So they're kind of lacking some depth in their life. So they might feel the sudden need to withdraw and just spend time with themselves, maybe travel, have some new experiences, but mostly learn and expand their horizons. They might read a lot of philosophy, they might start a new education. They will feel like they need to yeah, be more focused and spend more time for higher purposes and not just for random socializing. North Node in the 10th house, well, these people will realize how important it actually is for them to be seen and to be recognized in this world. They might be people who were pretty humble before, who are always like, no, I'm good being a housewife. Oh, actually, I'm just good, being at home and not having my job, but not doing much. I don't need no recognition. Maybe it's time to admit to yourself that you actually do need it. That actually what's missing in your life is to do something not only meaningful, but like to get somewhere. To feel like you're climbing the ladder of this social hierarchy. So these people might suddenly develop a need to actually get started out in their career, either independently or start working for a company. They will need to kind of belong to the society, to become kind of a functional part of this, yeah, machinery, societal machinery. And they might take concrete steps towards that and not just hide in their home and pretend like the society doesn't interest them. Even if it just is starting a social media channel, they will do something that brings them recognition in the eyes of the world. North Node in the 11th house. So these people might realize that their life has been all about fun and socializing and hedonism, that they were living from one day to the next, and they had a lot of great experiences, but they were all pretty self-indulgent. They have never dedicated any time to doing something that matters, something that actually helps the world, maybe social work or supporting some environmental organization or any other cause that actually has a bigger impact. They might get interested in that, interested in politics, interested in worldly happenings, interested in tech. They might, yeah, they will definitely feel like they need something more than just the daily pleasures of life, and they might start taking steps towards that. They might stop spending so much time maybe drinking or gambling or playing games, and they will start looking for a project, a purpose, some organization they can join that will make them feel like they're part of a meaningful group that fights for something good in this world. That is the North Node in the 11th house. And the North Node in the 12th house, these people will realize that they need to let go of everything. Basically, let go of control over anything that is happening in their life. And they might have had the feeling like they need to organize, supervise, and control everything that ever happened, is happening, and ever will happen. Otherwise, everything's going to fall apart. So during this transit, they will realize that they actually need to trust and to let go and let things happen. And they just, instead of putting themselves a goal and structuring all the steps of how to get to that goal and then following those steps meticulously until they reach their goal, they need to have a vague goal in mind, but let things evolve and feel how energies and the vibes are, and if they are taking them to that goal or not. And if they're not taking them to that goal, they should be okay with that. They can't keep this fixation on things working out in their life exactly as they want them to. They need to be more open to a higher intelligence that whatever happens is the best for them and not whatever they think should happen is the best for them. So there's a lot of relaxing and letting go to do for these people, and just trusting into the flow of things. Stop following the structures that they set out and start following their feeling. If something feels good, go there. If something doesn't feel good anymore, even if it is a goal that you set yourself and you think you need to follow, let it go and feel from which side there is something good coming towards you, and just go towards that. They will connect a lot with their inner selves. They might feel drawn to arts and music and creativity and spirituality, and just letting go of the human doing and becoming more of a human being. So that is the fields or energies that are being activated in each and everyone's chart now with the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. Because in the Age of Aquarius, every single one of us needs to become the true self. We need to be very real and very aligned with our deepest inner desires. And we need to stop being confused by all the delusional desires that we have, that are being conditioned upon us, that are being thrown upon us from other people, from media. We need to let all of that go and find out what it is that truly makes us happy. So Pluto ingress into Aquarius now, but it will only stay there till the beginning of June, and then it starts going retrograde. I mean, it starts going retrograde already at the end of April, I think on the 30th of April, but it will take a while until it gets out of Aquarius. So it starts going retrograde on the 30th of April and goes out of Aquarius at the beginning of June. So we will have this energy now, this energy of following our true selves and becoming more of what we want to become. But then when the reversal happens and the retrograde starts and Pluto moves out of Aquarius again, we might have a relapse into old patterns, into becoming confused and delusional again and not knowing where to go, and falling back into the old ways of doing things, starting to follow some old goals that we have. So the rest of the year might be a big fallback. But use this fallback as a revision, because it's going to be the last time you're going to be falling back into those old patterns, because then the next time Pluto moves into Aquarius into 2024, it will stay there for good. And all of these things that you felt you really want to manifest now in April and May, they are going to manifest themselves forever. I hope this helped you to somehow put your experience that you had during this last week into a framework. And I also want to mention that one thing I noticed with most people is that there was quite some locational displacement happening during the ingress of Pluto into Aquarius. So a lot of people would end up in places that they don't live at, just some of them, most of them also without planning it, like spontaneously, just end up in a different country, on a different continent. And I think that the place you have been at when the Pluto ingress happened on the 23rd of March, that is an important place for you. Keep that in mind. That's it from me. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.